So, that last episode of Under the Plate was a little timely, if I do say so myself. Realistically, there's even a chance we could see a reveal at the Game Awards 2024. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade for Epic Game Store was announced at the show in 2021, though the game wouldn't come to PC via Steam until the release was announced at the 25th anniversary livestream in June 2022. With well over 100 million people tuning into the Game Awards each year, it's a great opportunity to showcase the game and bring some excitement to the PC world. Seems like we were right on the money. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for PC is real, and it's just a month away. If you were watching the Game Awards livestream, I wish you could have heard the shout of joy I had inside Peacock Theater. Square Enix far exceeded my expectation of a spring release, delivering the PC port just 11 months after the release of Rebirth on PlayStation 5. In the reveal trailer, we got confirmation of some highly anticipated features, alongside minimum and recommended specs. There is so much to explore and discuss with this release, so let's dive in and chat about the PC release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. To kick things off, let's overview some of the new features that Square highlighted in the press release regarding the announcement. The PC version introduces new features and customizations to take full advantage of the platform. Lighting has been adjusted, and the game's overall rendering of light is significantly improved. The updated areas and cutscenes present with even greater beauty and clarity than before. Frame rate and resolution. NVIDIA DLSS support means that frame rates can be enhanced and image quality upscaled. There is now also support for variable refresh rate, VRR. Textures. The level of detail, LOD, for background models and MIP maps for background textures can both be freely configured in the options settings. With this, background polygon density and texture density can be set higher than was previously possible, allowing for gameplay with higher quality graphics. Controller input support. Connecting a DualSense controller with the PC allows players to use the same controls as the PS5 version. Keyboard and mouse support has also been added, alongside the option to freely customize the controls between world exploration and combat or minigames. Steam Deck. The Steam version of the game is planned to be playable on Steam Deck as well. Before even getting my hands on the game, I can already tell you that this port of Rebirth looks 10 times more promising than Remake was ever. In the last episode, we highlighted a key few features we'd like to see: DLSS support, more graphics customization options, and more. With this press release alone, it's clear that Square Enix has answered the call. And from the trailer, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looks better than ever before, almost making the PlayStation 5 version look like a last-gen game. So, let's start with the lighting. By far, this is the clearest new change found in the PC port. I kid you not, the development team has whipped up some wizardry to make Rebirth look this good. I was already blown away by the game we got on PlayStation 5, and the 30-second PC trailer had my jaw on the floor. I actually went to the Game Awards in person this year in Los Angeles for the first time, and I had the honor of going to the Square Enix offices and meeting producer Yoshinori Kitase and director Naoki Hamaguchi. When talking to Hamaguchi-san, it's clear that the team put a massive amount of effort in the lighting for the PC release. That becomes evident when looking at the screenshots of the PS5 and PC versions side by side. There is a significant amount of more detail in the PC release, with the new lighting bringing out a whole new level of immersion. Just take a look at a few of these examples. First, here's a screenshot of Cloud in Gungaga. Immediately, you can notice the new lighting from the sun that hits the outside of his arm and brushes on the top of his face and hair. Additionally, there is a small reflection on the Buster Sword that's more apparent now. Beyond the lighting in this scene, you can also immediately notice the new details and improved texture quality. Cloud's hair is more defined, with more strands than seen in the PS5 version, brought out by the new lighting tech. You can also see that Cloud's uniform and shoulder armor are rich with better lighting, almost looking real with the fuzzy and metallic finishes. This lighting truly makes the image seem lifelike, making these textures appear undoubtedly improved from PS5 by a mile. I'm sitting here almost questioning if this is the game I played for 300 hours this year, because I feel like Rebirth looked like the PC release this whole time. Really, that truly just speaks to the immersion that I had when playing the game. Next, let's take a look at this shot of Aerith from that scene. My eyes immediately go to her green eyes, which look better than ever with the improved lighting. Additionally, you can see a ton of extra effects in the background of livestream particles. The light reflecting off her face is also slightly brighter, better recreating the reflections as Aerith looks up to Cloud. I could go on and on with each of the screenshots we've gotten so far, but you probably get the idea by now. We're looking at a massively improved lighting system that creates an experience that looks leagues better than PlayStation 5. It's worth noting that both of these comparisons are in cutscene. Most of the cutscenes looked fantastic, but to be truthful, lighting was by far the weakest part of Rebirth, looking at it technically. I thought lighting in the cutscenes was generally great, but the PC version looks even better. The real struggles with lighting came especially during gameplay, which often produced really sharp or mixed results as the characters ran throughout different environments. I think these lighting tweaks will be able to give Rebirth an even more immersive feel as you roam the massive environments. Think about it. Lighting isn't limited to the characters. We'll see it across each area of the game, and the development team has clearly poured a ton of resources into making this system better than ever. Beyond these features and screenshots, we also got to look at the PC specs for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The two things that really jump out to me are the Windows 11 nod and recommended VRAM. Windows 10 is stated as the recommended OS for minimum settings, but Square recommends that players run the game on Windows 11 for recommended or ultra settings. If you're confused about this, there is absolutely zero reason you need Windows 11 to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC, I can assure you. With Windows 10 ending support next October, this is likely a push from Microsoft and Square in general just to be on the OS that is going to receive security updates. As for VRAM, Rebirth seems to be pretty demanding in that department. It wouldn't surprise me if higher VRAM cards allowed for better than advertised performance. This isn't just a problem for the Rebirth PC version or other Final Fantasy PC releases, but we're seeing all across the PC landscape right now how truly important VRAM is. For a lot of newer games, it's getting harder and harder to skate by with just 8 GB. I've been spending some time with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and it's crazy how VRAM dependent that game can be. Now, it's worth noting that these mentions of VRAM are solely in the case of 4K monitors, but it's still something you need to keep in mind for this port. These specs do not mention anything regarding upscaling or DLSS, so I assume that these are native estimates. If that's the case, DLSS should be able to greatly improve performance and lower the threshold needed to achieve 4K or 1440p play. Yes, Square recommends that you have an RTX 2070 to run the game on medium quality at 1080p 60 frames per second, but you should be able to hit well above that mark with an RTX 2070 or similar using DLSS. If you were able to run Final Fantasy VII Remake comfortably on your PC, you should be okay for Rebirth if I were to have to guess. While Rebirth will undoubtedly be more taxing with its open world, the game is still running on Unreal Engine 4. There will be mods that target increased performance across the board, and you should be able to tweak this release much more than Remake allowed, too. Now, jumping back to look at features overall, the Square Enix blog has confirmed that the PC specs reflect the 3 available default graphics presets: low, medium, and high. Unlike Remake, you will be able to tweak settings far more individually, with Square sharing that, quote, you can also deep dive to tweak individual settings to suit the PC that you are using. That's a major improvement that will help as many players as possible get the best overall experience for their individual systems. Support for frame rates of up to 120 FPS is already confirmed, and that limit will likely be broken on launch day through mod support. The real star of the show here, though, is official DLSS and VRR support at last. If you're unfamiliar with it, DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, is a NVIDIA technology that uses tensor cores and RTX graphics cards to upscale games and drastically improve frame rates. In a nutshell, this technology renders the game at a lower resolution and uses AI to upscale it, looking as good as the intended resolution while providing a massive boost in performance. This feature was missing on Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's great to see it here on day one for Rebirth. Also supported with Rebirth is VRR, or Variable Refresh Rate, which syncs the refresh rate of your display to the frame rate of your game, creating a smoother image free of screen tearing. That's probably enough deep dive tech explanation for now, so let's move on to controllers. There is already confirmed support for the DualSense and its features, so fans who played the game on PS5 will feel right at home with no button remapping needed. However, you can absolutely use a keyboard and mouse for the first time, with support for customization on exploration and combat or minigames. It isn't directly stated in either the blog post or press release, but you should be able to tweak your controller settings to whatever you'd like as well. This was something that was present in the PC release of FF7 Remake, and I see no reason for that not to be the case for Rebirth. And finally, Steam Deck. It's hard to believe, but the development team confirmed they are actively working on optimizing the game for Steam Deck. This is such a big platform for many owners out there, and having Rebirth be playable on Deck will allow the game to be played portably for the very first time. I don't have a Steam Deck, but this really makes me want one, I can't lie. However, I'll be holding out dear hope for a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth port on Switch 2. Overall, I'm really happy to see most of the community's most wanted features here. There is a glaring omission though. Square has still not added ultra-wide support, or at least not confirmed it. While it is possible that it could be in the final game and we just don't know, it feels like a feature that would have been heavily marketed alongside DLSS and the reveal trailer. At the very least, albeit disappointing, this is something that can also be modded in within the first day or so after release. With pre-orders now open, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is available to pre-order for $48.99. You can also get both Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for $69.99 as part of the Twin Pack promotion. This was something that Square did for the PS5, and I'm glad they're bringing it back. It gives new fans the chance to get both games at a discount. As of now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sits well among the top sellers both nationally and globally. It's great to see that fan demand has materialized with these pre-orders. Overall, it's surreal to think that we'll be checking out Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC in just around 1 month. We've got all kinds of plans for covering the game, and I personally will probably be using this release as an excuse to dive back in again and let my backlog continue to grow. And hey, best of all, the game is actually coming to PC, or you can buy it on the Epic Games Store if you want. But at the very least, there's no exclusivity. At any rate, the countdown for Rebirth on PC is on, and we here at Final Weapon couldn't be more excited to experience the second chapter in the remake project on PC once again. Thanks for tuning in to episode 11 of Under the Plate. It's hard to believe that we're already here, but we've got no plans of slowing down as we head toward 2025. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sharing this video with a friend. We rely on you to continue growing and crafting more videos, and we're extremely grateful to have your support. If you're looking for more RPG content, be sure to check out our catalog of Under the Plate episodes for dives into Final Fantasy VII, or our Beyond the Conduit series for an exploration of the Xeno series. Beyond that, Final Weapon is the ultimate hub for your favorite games, anime, and more. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the exciting content we have coming up real soon. We'll catch you next time.